First timers.
And we are live
First time.
with the first timers.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello everyone.
Lessons for life.
Lessons
Live.
for life. I
It's
just
live.
subscribed to the channel.
Have you subscribed yet?
Yeah, just subscribed. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're
Alright,
live.
so today was a very great experience for myself.
A great experience for
I
myself.
learned
as
how
well.
different individuals can be.
Jason Mitchell's in. Jason Mitchell, sound check and visuals. Are we looking
One,
good?
two,
Sounding
one,
good?
two.
Yeah.
One.
And if you get it up on your phone, you'll see
Oh, yeah.
how clear we are. And this is an experiment in
Live.
broadcasting. I'm having to keep my eye on the road, so these two will monitor the chat and read out the comments, and we're just going to reflect on their first time at Speaker's Corner. My 50th time probably. Gentlemen, how was
Wow,
it?
really?
How was it for you? Well, I've been going consistently for about a year now, and if you go
Yeah.
every week, that's 52 times. But yeah, it was a typical day in the park for me. But how was it for you?
Different experience, talking to different people, getting to know what different people's beliefs are, what they feel like, what they talk about, what they're interested in.
I'll whack it down and we'll get
All sorts of
feedback.
different like cultures and people promoting what they believe in. Very
Yeah.
interesting stuff. Seeing some very passionate people, even if they are weird.
Yeah, but
Even
they're
if
very
they are
passionate
silly.
for them to go out every week.
Yeah, and you got guys there
Come
calling
there.
the earth flat. Come on.
I know,
But they're
right? I
telling
can't
you.
believe that people are still saying that.
But they're trying to convince you.
What,
Everyone wanted a chance to bring someone into their world. Follow
right.
us. We're on the right path.
That's right. Yeah.
Some things were heated. Some things were humorous.
Yeah.
Some things were quite interesting to watch and stand and listen to. People agreed on some things. Obviously, they didn't on some others. So there's a lot of debating and typical.
I think
Quite a lot of males there actually. So
Jason
quite a lot
Mitchell
of testosterone.
said all good. At least you didn't die. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to get shot, but no one wanted to shoot me.
Oh, for your Facebook Live, yeah?
Yeah.
That would have been popular.
so. We kicked it off with Modine and what happened in Bahrain. Do you guys remember what he said about Bahrain and what happened last night in the Bahraini embassy?
Some of it.
I mean, it's a story that's gone completely under the
Do
radar.
you know where you're going? Yeah, do you need
Yeah,
the
yeah,
maps?
no. There's two ways to go. Should we go that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Modine was a bit acting like a bean.
Well, he was acting like a bean. Nah, he's a
It's
cool
like-
guy.
He was
He's a
speaking
cool
up
guy, but he kinda
on an
get-
issue that's been, as I say, is going to be brushed under the carpet because
Yeah.
the Bahrain government are loyal to our side in the
Yeah.
West, or
Yeah.
are with Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
and Modine obviously likes to give the other side of the coin.
Okay, so
Yeah.
would you say he touches on a lot of
Oh, I thought it was gonna sound
subjects
dirty.
which, like you say, would be just brushed over under the rug?
Yeah, I think
It's
so
a good
because
thing, then, isn't
it is a good thing, and his message. He is accused of propagating Shiaism because he's a Shia.
Oh, is
his agenda might be perceived as being Shia,
Yeah.
which was what I was trying to allude to when I was saying, well, you're picking on the Saudis, but what about when other countries do things? And he said, I'll speak out against it, or if Iran, which is a Shia country, commit some kind of what's the word, oppression, I will speak out. And he even mentioned an area of Iran where he said people are not being treated well. So I think he is consistent in that way, but I can see why people would suspect he's going to be politically biased, and we're all are. And I am biased, but I am sort of biased in favour of the way that he was leading.
Okay.
But whenever you engage in conversation, especially when it's for a channel or whatever, you have to ask the question that other people will want to ask,
Yeah.
whether you agree or not. And I'm
That's right,
not
yeah.
trying to catch him out. I'm
But
just
you
saying
did catch a bit of slack for for some stuff today. It was a
I
bit
did,
deep.
yeah. I'm no stranger to that, and I don't mind
Yeah.
being.
But you know your
criticised.
homework, which is important. If you standing there like a chicken, you would have got fried, you know.
Straight up.
And speaking of chicken, we had a vegan, interesting guy.
Yeah.
Barry.
Stay tuned for Barry's interview.
Yeah, you might
Sexual-
have to listen a bit
bisexual adventure.
closely, but
Yeah, 18 plus.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think there's a fine line between, and I hope we didn't cross it.
Between a white man and a brown man.
Between I know, having seen your videos online, questions that you aim at Rizzo. I know that you like to have a laugh, and if you sit down with someone who's not kind of in on the laugh, it's like, well, are you taking the mick out of them?
Yeah, that's
But in the end, he sort of took the mick out of you, and he went back and forward. And it was quite a good laugh. There was no victim.
that's
It's
right.
control.
In
In
that
the end,
Yeah, we're there. We're good. Sorry, you were saying, Sash. Leaving
Saying
on a
that it's
good note.
interesting how we went in there, or how you can go into these type of environments and they seem almost quite like, they're attractive because of what's going on, but at the same time, it's very sensitive stuff, religion, politics,
Yeah.
worldly issues. So when you go in there, you kind of go in there with probably a kind of closed mind, but you can kind of open up a bit to debate. You have to open up a bit. And I saw a few people like starting off getting a bit aggressive or developing some sort of bad vibes towards
yeah,
each
actually,
Yeah.
I saw that as well. They started
then-
off quite aggressive, or I'd start watching them. Like I'd noticed that they're getting a bit aggressive, so it
Yeah.
attracted me towards it.
Yeah,
And then they kind of do listen to each other as well,
yeah,
don't they?
yeah.
That's why I find it quite interesting, man, because it's like they're saying their bit quite aggressively, but then they're listening to the other person as well. Like
Yeah.
that guy that was kind of getting a bit with you, towards the end of it,
Yeah.
he kind of calmed down and he was like, all right, you're cool. You're
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
I think we were actually arguing very similar points.
Not the zombie guy.
Which didn't that guy with the beard?
Yeah.
The younger guy, bigger
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, that guy
Yeah.
and the other
Who
guy.
said he kicked off with you're talking rubbish. You're talking
Yeah,
rubbish.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think like anyone that wants to start a debate or get interested, they don't have to not to start on an aggressive. If you believe the person's talking rubbish or shit or whatever,
Yeah, like some people, they've only just got there. They haven't heard the previous 20 minutes,
Yeah,
and they're
that's right,
already heckling.
Yeah.
But then you had
need
that
to
one
hear what
guy-
people are about.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one guy that was accusing you personally of
Me too.
destroying
yeah,
the
the
country.
zombie, innit? The dead
yeah,
guy.
There's
Yeah,
a guy half
yeah.
dead, and the thing is, I find that offensive because it's like,
Because, like you said, you're asking the questions that people would ask,
Yeah.
or people want answers to.
it's not like you
So
went there with an EDL
They start
thing
thinking that's
on
your opinion.
Yeah.
like an EDL type of,
Colin Alloy, the most generous
Oh, thanks,
subscriber to
Colin.
the channel, is saying, "Where did you get these brothers from?"
Oh wow.
Picked them up by the side of the road.
Yeah.
They looked
I was
lonely.
homeless before I met him.
Yeah.
I still am now, but
Well,
he's
at
taken me
least we
to
got a
his
car.
home now. He's such
Yeah.
a generous
I've
young
adopted
man.
them. Now
He
the
adopted me,
yeah.
even though I call him bad names. And I question his sexuality every time. I question why he hasn't got a girlfriend,
Well, it's a broad
why he hasn't
spectrum.
got a boyfriend.
Dasha is saying, well, you
Colin,
need to
allow
read
me, just gave you £2, bro.
it. Yeah, I know. He's a very generous man. I appreciate it, Colin.
Colin, you're a
Thank
good
you.
man.
Someone just gave you £10, bro.
Wow.
Did they actually give me, or have they
I
just
don't-
written £10
All right,
on the
he's
screen?
written £10, yeah.
Because that's a
He's pledged £10.
that's a fake donation.
No, he's promising.
Oh, is it?
So just
But yeah, you guys that are
Yeah,
watching, if you ever get a chance, if you're local, come and open your mind to these things. I'm gonna come regular now.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for these things are very important because you got people coming to a corner to base their views openly. There's no violence, there's no aggressiveness. People get to say what they got to say. It's quite an equal debate most of the time.
Was there any hate speech today? Did you hear anything
no,
that you
I
thought?
could hear some stuff
hate
being
speech?
said, shouted out, but it was more or less like what someone was strongly thinking. So he was saying, "Oh, Jordan's got ties with Saudi Arabia," so and so. He was shouting stuff across Syria and so and so. And yeah, I guess someone could take that the wrong way because it's their country and it's their politics and stuff.
We tried to have a chat with Alumba, but that was a special request
and he
from
was
a viewer.
special person.
What did you, from our 10-minute interaction with Alumba?
Waste of time.
What did you gain from it?
Waste of time.
This is what I worried would be the case if we had it. I'm willing to try it. I'll try anyone. But I think it wasn't really a conversation. It was him reading his script and me trying to interview
That was
him.
like that guy with the crown on his head.
Yeah.
Okay, William, you did say
The guy is just repeating himself.
the crown guy was disappointed.
Yeah.
The crown guy, if you give him a chance, is very interesting, but it will take a long time.
You did
We needed a one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
Oh, in what way?
Like in a
Sounds so.
interview. Innit?
Oh, okay. Yeah, but let's backtrack a bit.
Yeah.
We forgot about the Chinese.
Well, yeah, earlier in the day, long
Woo-wee.
before we got
The
to,
Chinese.
long before we were anywhere near Speaker's Corner, we were with the.
We were with these Chinese guys, and they were talking.
Well,
about the Hong
were they
Kong
Chinese?
situation.
They were trying to say that Hong Kong is not China.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. They were Hong Kongians.
Yeah.
Hong Kongians.
King
Well,
Kongs.
Cantonese. That is the language
Oh,
in
okay.
Hong
Okay.
Kong.
So yeah,
Okay.
they were disowning their affiliation with China, I guess,
Yeah.
or China's government.
Yeah.
So at the same time, we touched on a few subjects. Now, I don't know if you guys know, watching, but there's a big Muslim crisis going on in China.
Yeah.
So we hit the question to him about that, and it kind of turned a bit awkward for them, and they tried to brush it off.
I wonder
So-
why they didn't want to talk about that. Maybe they feel it would detract from their issue.
Yeah, it was tried from their
Everyone wants
issues,
the limelight.
and it would give their whole.
That's right.
Read
Yeah.
the comments, Rizzo.
Dasha said, "I don't know where the money goes. I don't know those guys. Lessons for life."
They're good guys. All money goes back into producing more great content for you guys.
Yeah, the money's not going to go to us. It's going to go to.
Well, it's going for me because
Or,
I'm in a homeless shelter right now.
Friendly
Yeah, it might go a bit
So it's helping towards my rent. And I need a crisp packet tonight, so please someone donate 50p.
What flavour?
Prawn cocktail
salt,
Walkers.
Okay.
Yeah, they should make a prawn cocktail McCoys. What do you guys think watching?
All right, yeah, I think you need to hit the listeners with a few questions, Guy,
Yeah.
with your great hypothetical
Okay.
and crisp related questions.
Okay, so you guys watching, right? If
Give them an option of choosing.
I was going to do the Ibran Sharon, but there are no Ibran. Damn.
Yeah, no
The two
no
guys
personal
is
details.
basically-
Ready salted or salt and vinegar?
I think salt and vinegar.
I think
personally.
ready salted.
Well, pickled
I love
onion. No
salt
one,
and
the
vinegar.
pickled onion underrated.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
People forget about that. Worcester sauce.
Which crisps do people done in apart from Space Raiders?
Monster Munch.
Oh yeah, Monster Munch. Pickled onion.
Monster
See,
Munch.
but pickled onion is similar to salt and vinegar, right? That
Like-
tangy sort of
yeah,
pickled
yeah,
means in vinegar.
Indian, did you say?
No,
Racist.
I didn't say.
Oh.
We've got comments coming in. Read
Okay.
them. Oh,
He said it's a joke, we trust you.
Oh. Yeah, trust us, we're nice guys. I mean,
Simpsons, tomato ketchup. Oh wow.
Walker's tomato ketchup.
Walker's tomato ketchup, I forgot about those. I love those. But you don't see them in many shops.
that's great.
They're like you gotta search for them.
Do you, while we're on the deep, meaningful subject, do you lot eat Pringles?
Pringles,
Yeah.
why not? Yeah, Pringles.
Do you
once
know
stop,
that
you don't pop.
There's a correct way up to consume a Pringle.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll tell you an interesting story about
What, the
Pringles.
actual crisp,
Yeah,
like the way you put it in your mouth,
yeah.
the way.
Well, Gotti's got an interesting
Okay,
story.
go on.
if
I got an
that's
interesting
possible.
story about Pringles.
Pringles,
This
yeah.
put me off Pringles for life.
Okay.
Um,
Was it a lesson for life?
yeah. Speaking like, yeah. I mean, I was watching. I don't watch Big Brother, but I was skipping through the channels. And I didn't understand this Big Brother hype when Big Brother was new.
Okay.
And this girl in Big Brother was eating Pringles. And she was eating it, and all that fancy stuff, taking the lid off.
Fancy stuff. Okay.
Yeah, getting all excited. And then I started to look closely. And her teeth had a big gap in it, like a picket fence.
Okay.
She was eating, right?
Like a picket fence.
And I was like, oh wow, like Suddenly, I just didn't want to eat Pringles again because I remembered her teeth
Oh wow.
looking so bad eating them.
One thing can.
And Riz has an interesting story about onion rings.
No, but is that the story? Was that the story?
Yeah, that's a story.
Cool story, bro.
I don't eat Pringles because it reminds me of a very buck-toothed woman.
Ahmed Al Shalji.
Yeah.
Say hello, guys.
Oh, he's the commenter of the week, by the way.
Hello,
Can you
what?
congratulate him? He won commenter of the week
Oh, congratulations for that, bro.
for his consistent and observant comments.
Oh wow. What did he get?
He got a post with his name on it, shared online.
Oh wow, lucky guy.
And if you want to be next week's commenter of the week, keep the comments coming
Keep the
in.
comments coming if you want to be a commenter of the week. Sim Sons said, do them as the near me. Where's that, bro? I'm from Reading.
Are they open?
Huh?
He said they do them tomato ketchup flavour.
He's from Reddit.
I don't know.
They do an Asda. You never tried
They
them?
do them in Asda, don't they?
Yeah, you never tried them.
Me?
Yeah.
But I love them.
Oh,
I'm just saying you don't really find them in your
Oh,
local
okay.
shop.
People don't mention French fries.
French fries, I don't like them.
Crisps
I don't
or
like
Discos. Discos got that sodium in it.
Colin Alawi, can you put this live stream up, please?
What does that mean, Colin? It is up.
It is up. It's happening right now. This is live.
Yeah, we're live now.
Ahmed said,
share
how
the
long
link,
will it
please.
take to reach your place?
30 minutes.
You'll find out. Stay tuned to find out if
And
we
then
ever get
Colin
there.
said to Ahmed, I'm jealous of you.
Well, we're all friends here. Colin, maybe.
Oh, was it
maybe
because
next
of the
week.
comment of the week thing?
Yeah, because.
All you guys watching, I advise you to.
Thanks, Julian, for this recommendation. I am
You're
happy for
welcome.
this.
All you guys watching, I advise you to try it and use your time wisely.
How?
If that
How?
means being a blogger or a vlogger, go do it. You got the opportunity right there. The computer doesn't
Yeah,
cost
that's right.
much. Follow what you believe in.
Yeah.
If you have a
Get your-
strong opinion
Get
about
your opinions
something,
out there.
yeah,
That's right.
promote it.
This.
Put it out there. That's for the camera.
It's very easy to do so. You got the technology now, the appliances,
Yeah.
everything. You just need to go and do it. And
So
don't
how-
feel shy or nervous.
In an era like that, how come we're still the victims of fake news? And we just lap up whatever the mainstream narrative is on a certain story, unless you shop around.
Yeah.
And
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's
all
like,
that, yeah. I mean,
the most popular ones get, more people, start believing the more popular ones because that's all they're seeing, right?
yeah, that's it, consensus. But I think now that you've got RT and BBC, at least flick over and see what some
Don't just stick to one.
other agenda
Some
might
people
be
are
saying. It
so
might all be propaganda.
good.
But at
That
least,
one newspaper they read or
okay, we're back again. And just to address Colin's question, yes, this live stream will be left up, will be published, and it will stay on the channel. You can watch it again and again and again
and again.
and again.
And if you do turn vegan, what would be your reason, or do you think you'll be able to maintain yourself? How much do you love meat?
What were you describing yourself as today? What's your diet?
Meatitarian.
You're a meatitarian.
Vegetarian,
Was that just to annoy the vegans?
Well, the vegans do a good job annoying themselves.
No, but do you know what? Honestly, though, I can see why people follow that path because they're thinking, isn't it? Like, look at the amount of cruelty there is to animals around the world,
Yeah.
and they're probably thinking, look, to end at least some of it, I'm gonna become vegan.
Yeah, no,
Stop
no,
eating,
I get it.
stop
But
eating.
then some of them are like
Certain
Salafi, the extreme, and they go hardcore. Where,
Yeah, but I guess you gotta go all the way. You
no,
can't
not
go-
hardcore on like other people. I just say, look at you.
Oh
guys.
yeah. I don't
Come
agree
on.
with that.
I mean, like,
I'm saying if you want to make that choice, make that choice.
some
but
vegans are fine. They'll be like, yo,
force
this
it
is
on
my
others.
choice.
And
Forget
don't. It's like the LGBT thing.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, okay, cool, that's you, and this is me. Don't force it on me, sort of thing. That I should have the same opinion as you. And, I
It's best to
should,
go left here, isn't
what is it? I didn't see the sign.
it? Either's fine. Yeah, we're all good. Actually, I'll go this way. Yeah. Here's a question that came up in a school context the other week. A teacher who is a vegan was asked by a Muslim kid in school, them is, do you eat halal? What was her answer?
She probably asked him what he meant.
Well, yeah. I wonder, what did he mean? Because she said, no, I don't, because I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
But actually, the correct answer is everything that she eats is halal.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's nothing forbidden within the vegan
That's
diet.
true, yeah, that's true.
Right? And people think eating halal means eating a special kind of meat.
Yeah.
No, it's eating all the things that are okay in the religion.
That's right.
And that includes drinking water, eating bread.
That's right.
Yeah.
All of those things
It's
are
funny you
halal.
say that because
They're looking at it from the wrong way.
Yeah, there's a white guy in my old job, and
What was her answer?
Well, she said, I don't.
Happen,
This did happen.
okay.
There was a white guy in my old job, and he was kind of an older guy, set in his ways. And
Yeah.
he said to me, I said to him, "Do you have lunch today here?" Like, and he was like, "Nah." I was why? And he was like, they're cooking that halal stuff. And I just don't agree with it.
Okay.
And I was like, "Sorry, what do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh well, it's just my principle. I don't agree with it." So he
Yeah.
just technically doesn't agree with it because he said it. He goes, "I'm not going to eat nothing spiritual,"
Yeah.
because he was a strong atheist.
Okay.
But
Does
the
he,
thing is,
does
the
he have a
food-
point?
Well, there was a
the
few
meat's the
things.
same.
No, but there's a few things that he said to me as a Muslim, that were quite ignorant. Like when it was Ramadan, I never mentioned to no one is Ramadan. I get on with. I don't boast about it. I don't tell no one. But
Yeah.
some people like to make their opinion. Like himself, he'd be like, "I don't know what you're doing that for. You're killing yourself, or you're not going to like." Just having an opinion, and he had his opinion on vegetarian, so he was one of those type of guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Islam or halal and stuff he was attacking. It was more or less anything that was not something he was familiar to. Or
To
didn't
be honest, I
agree with.
respect his opinion.
Yeah, but there's a way of
because-
doing it, innit? He was kind of like very harsh.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a way of doing and saying everything, isn't it? Like,
So this woman he knew was a vegetarian, and he was telling me, "Oh, tell her I guess she's going to the dentist," and he was like, "Oh, it's all that vegetables she's eating." I'm like, really? Like, we're gonna always mock her diet for illness.
Too many vegetables.
Yeah, she was a white woman, like he was a white guy, and she just lived as a vegetarian, but he tried to pick on his thing.
I've heard
It's
that
about respect, really. Just respect what I do, I respect what you do.
on the issue of halal meat, the people that do have a problem are the Sikhs, because their religion insists that they do not eat any meat sacrificed for God. Although I think Sikhs are meant to be vegetarian anyway, if they stuck to it strictly. But I have had Sikh friends who say, "Oh, we mustn't have halal meat."
yeah.
And he-
Ahmed said that
yeah.
Julian, this live stream has much less audio quality like all other videos. Why? Where is that magical mic? Alright, we're not using that right now. Is it really that bad?
Plug in. Where is it?
Where is that little road mic?
We are so dumb.
I don't know.
Don't crash.
You want to take this one off?
No.
Leave it.
Leave it on. Because I plug that into the right hand of the phone.
Wait, let me just
Yeah. Maybe we set up for it.
Colin said he is live streaming on his phone. Plus noise from driving on the motorway.
Whack it in, and it will make it a
Let's
lot
see if
better.
this makes a difference. If this gets untangled. They need to invent something that untangles
yeah, they
wires,
do.
bro. Listen, I need your mic.
No, you don't.
Because
Will it
it's
reach? Okay. Make it reach.
Come forward.
Come forward. Go on, you come forward.
How do you feel?
Alright, let's restart the show. Mic check 1, 2. Ahmed, commenter of the week. How well can you hear us now? How is the mic? And thank you, top commenter, for pointing it out.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Sound check. Are we
He looks
much
like
better?
Kamar from his picture.
Could maybe it's him.
Someone we know. He's a very, very handsome guy.
Tell us a story like my sister.
No. Bro, why are you being down for it?
There we go. We're up and running. All right. Any more questions from the viewers
Mom might watch this.
Shit, sorry, man.
for two
Oh,
first
shit,
timers at Speaker's Corner?
Come out from West.
Do you recognise someone?
Shit,
Yeah,
man.
that's
I'm fucked up. I'm sorry.
Wizardry did you use? I need the same thing.
No, it's called actually plugging the mic in. Colin, we should have known.
Colin Alawi, where are you
Amateur
from?
mistake.
Because you've got Colin sounds like you're from England. And
Wales,
Alawi.
Wales, Wales.
Alawi? What's
Wales.
Alawi? Where's
David Bowie.
I believe he's from up north somewhere, Colin, but I believe he's, well, he can tell you if he...
If any of you guys...
I've got a Rode mic, and this is not a Rode mic, I can't remember what make it is, but it's a similar lavalier mic. If you want to get a clip-on mic, and this is a double one. Sorry, Rizzo, you have a question?
Me? No, I was just saying where he's from, because Colin Alawi. Alawi sounds like Arabic.
Yeah, well, the Alawis are the sect of Shia that venerate Ali very highly.
Okay.
And I think
I didn't know.
Colin might have some family background in that part of the world, but there's a lot of Alawis in Syria. Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, is an Alawi, for example. But I could be wrong on that.
Experience when you went to Iran,
Yeah.
the temporary marriage.
No, I did not engage in a temporary marriage in Iran,
But
but
you wanted to.
I wanted.
You could have.
Didn't have enough time.
Okay. Oh wow. So how would that work? Did you find out? Did someone explain to you
Yeah.
how it works? Like you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, someone-
Yeah, I mean,
Is it like a house? Like is
I
it like
was
a brothel?
told that there's a certain area.
Brothel, did you say?
It could be. If it's a house, then you could technically class as a brothel, wouldn't it?
It's messed up.
This is the thing, and we can talk temporary marriage. Modine brings it up a lot. We met Modine.
Oh, Modine supports it.
Yeah, because it's part of
Because
the
it's Shia, isn't it?
part of the Shia doctrine, and he, as he says, if it was revealed in the Quran, and it was at some point.
Was it?
Yes.
Revealed in the Quran?
All Muslims
There
agree
is
that
something about it.
Oh
I
my
just don't know much
God.
about it. Sometimes you say.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but it's
The
not what
Sunni
you think.
understanding was that it was for a certain period of time when they were away at war and might never come back. And the Shia say, no, it's in the Quran, therefore you can't say it's haram if God hasn't said so. But I think the point is you can use the letter of the law to defeat the spirit of the law. God wants you to have wives or a wife and be just and fair to them and not go around having a relationship
It
with
doesn't
everyone.
seem right,
That's
man.
not from what I glean from the purpose of the religion. But who am I could be wrong. And if you believe that having a temporary marriage is your thing, then go for it. If divorce is allowed, and divorce is described as the most disliked of permissible things, right? But if you're allowed to do it, then any marriage can be temporary. In theory, you can just have a divorce.
Yeah,
All actions
but-
are based on intention. So if your intention from the beginning was, you know,
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this
to marry this
part-time.
person and then divorce them straight after,
Yeah.
I don't think the marriage would be valid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be valid, but who would know?
That's right, yeah, but God,
Only
in
you would.
His eyes, it won't be valid.
But then that would just
So,
be the case. You'd just be trying out different whatever. Innit?
That's what I mean, innit? Like,
I heard it. I need to look into that honestly. But this obviously Modine, he's full Shia, so he does hit himself. And all that.
I'm not sure if he does.
He must go on the
self-
march and hit himself.
flagellating.
What do you think about that?
I think the things that get notoriety in religion are the extreme things that other people don't do. So, people, it's thought of that, Muslims don't eat nice, why would you have it? In China, where everyone eats cat and dog, Muslims are probably looked at as weird for not doing that.
Aliens.
Or why don't you eat cat, why don't you eat dog?
Yeah.
So it's whatever the norm in your society, whatever contrast with that will be pointed out as being the Islamic thing. What I was saying a few weeks ago to Paul Williams about the the 5 pillars of Islam, and they're very well known in the West, and people that know little about Islam might at least be familiar with that. But what about the 7 articles of faith, which is belief in destiny, belief Qadr, Tawheed, believing in angels, jinn, these things that are most probably more important than the 5 pillars, but the 5 pillars are more famous. Oh, sorry, man. Look, you want to hold it if you want.
How come this become so short ranged?
Yeah, because we actually plugged it in. What's the question?
Man. Oh, the question. Is anyone
when is next UFC training in?
totally nothing to
Well,
do
we
with
switched to a different park today. We had to find a secluded spot to do our training.
I'm not sure what that park is called, where it is.
Next to Westfield. There's a question from Colin.
Julian, do you believe in jinn or spirits or supernatural?
Well, as I was saying the other day,
Do you? I want to ask you that.
Certainly there are things that are paranormal.
Yeah.
There are activity that go on that we don't understand. You might call them aliens.
Yeah.
Someone else might call them jinn. We
Yeah.
just said that jinn is something unseen. And when we said, is there life on other planets? Yeah, definitely, but it's not aliens. Literally, alien is just someone from another world. So whatever the life form is on other planets or other places or even other dimensions,
Yeah.
you can call it aliens, call it what you want. We've all got a different name for it.
Yeah.
In Ireland, they're called leprechauns, but we're just trying to say something that we don't understand.
Do you believe in black magic?
Are leprechauns gay?
Are leprechauns gay? Well, you find them at the end of the rainbow.
Rainbow, that's what I was saying. That's why I was
You could be right. You could be onto something.
Do you believe in black magic?
Generally not. I think.
Wow, really?
Generally not, man. All this voodoo and
Ouija boards and stuff.
no, man. It's people generally voodoo and black magic. It's people conning themselves. People in backwards part of the world that believe in this stuff. Generally, I believe there's a spirit in the woods. Come, grow up.
Really?
Well, you tell me then.
I don't know.
Because demons, ghosts.
No. Jinns are basically another creation of God, who exist. They have different characteristics, so they can only be seen if they want to be seen.
If I tell you in Ireland we believe in leprechauns, what will you say?
Yeah, they're probably jinns.
See, you say they're probably jinns. And what if I say, those jinn?
Call them the proper term.
Do you not think that people just told fairy stories and freaked each other out? And in the olden days when we lived in the cave, if there was a strange noise outside, it was probably something that would eat you and kill you. Right. So you'd be better off to be scared and not go near it than say, there's probably nothing, and I'll go and investigate and get eaten. And that's why people are told, it's they live in dark places. They live in the toilet and they eat human waste. Come on, man, really? That's a story. So that you don't go near the toilet because there's bacteria in the toilet that will make you ill and die.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It's an analogous.
You could die in the toilet from bacteria.
You could contract a disease that will kill you. Yeah, definitely.
Oh wow.
You could get E. coli, and if bacteria are tiny microscopic things that cannot be seen with the human eye, then you could call that the unseen. You could call that jinn.
Well, if you had a disease and you went in the toilet and you came back out with the disease gone.
Go from bad to worse. There's a question.
So did anyone answer the question about veganism? Or did they just talk about UFC?
Question.
Is there any kind of personality test like DISC oriented for travelers and tourism?
Is there any kind of personality
test oriented for travelers and tourism?
I don't know. But we're all travellers. We're all on a journey, and we are literally.
Wasim Raja, Jules the debater, he loves talking.
That's right, man.
You know Wasim Raja?
I recognise the name. Is he from Reading?
Yeah.
Is he saying that now? Is he watching
I
us
sent him
live?
the video.
Oh, very good.
So he might be tuned in.
I hope so. Yeah, look, you guys should share this link.
I have to 3
Oh,
people.
well done. Well done.
My brother said he knows you. Well, he doesn't know you, but he said Sawa. I don't know if you know him. He said that Bob Ali's friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Muslim. Everyone thinks you're Muslim.
Everyone thinks I'm Muslim.
Everyone thinks you're Muslim. Let's get this out there. Yeah, let's get this out there.
I'd like to say once and for all to all you people listening, I do not follow any particular religion or doctrine.
But you seem to hit a lot around the Islam region.
Yeah, man. Look,
This is interesting.
William said it today. Do away with labels.
Yeah.
I am me. People are very desperate to stick a label on you quickly.
Yeah.
But what are you? Okay, so that's agnostic.
Yeah.
Even
that's
agnostic,
right, you're right.
they quickly came up with there's a name for it. Agnostic.
Yeah.
Why not just accept me for who I am, what I am, or how I
Are you a white
Seek
of the truth? Yeah. Are you a white Amjad Ali?
Am I a white Amjad Ali? No comment. Some people say Amjad Ali is the white Amjad Ali. People are attracted.
Out there, exactly the same as us. Oh wow, aliens and shit. Yeah, like they look exactly
there's a parallel.
There's a movie about that.
Well, some people say that every possible scenario has been unfolded in infinite parallel universes.
Yeah.
There's a comment coming in.
Who's that? Julian, do you believe in jinn? Oh, sorry, no, I've read that.
All the way down.
Edward says that Orientalism creates a divide between the East and the West. Comment on the above idea. Orientalism.
Yes. Orientalism.
You love Arabs.
Yeah. So.
Orientalism.
Repeat the question again. Does Orientalism creates a divide between the East?
Creates. Edward says.
So that's Edward Said. He was an American Palestinian writer.
Orientalism creates a divide between the East and the West. Comment on the above idea.
Does it create? Okay. I think there is a divide between the East and West, and maybe this notion of East and West is an Orientalist principle, because East of where? West of where? The world is round.
Well, it's flat apparently.
Well, it's flat and it's apparently.
Just learned that
but
at Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, you learned that at Speaker's Corner. But when you say West from where? Like Morocco.
Sorry, that's true.
Morocco in Arabic is called the Maghreb, which means the West. Salat al-Maghrib in the evening. So this comes from the meaning of the word West, but Morocco west of where? It's in the west of Africa. From a Western perspective, the culture is Middle Eastern. Is Morocco, whose name means West, part of the Middle East. Yemen comes from Yamin, meaning left. And if you are, have I missed the M4?
Still banging.
We missed it, or we going? Don't worry, we'll go a different way.
You should have shot way.
Yeah. We'll go this way. Don't worry. It's sort of added 20 minutes. Sorry, boys. So, Yemen comes from.
You're doing it Israel now.
You're doing it
purposely.
I don't want the night to end.
Okay.
Yemen means Yamin, which means left.
Yamin.
Yamin means left. You know what I mean? So if you're facing west in Mecca or the Hijaz and you look left, you will see Yemen. And Balad Sham. No, sorry, right. If you're facing the east, Yamin means right. So if you're facing the east and you look right, you'll see Yemen. I don't know if this is the case, but Balad Sham, meaning Syria, Shamal means north, and some people use north to mean left, so it could mean the land in the north, or the land.
Would you ever live in a communist country?
Yeah.
Cuba,
this is where, if you're calling it the East, East of where? Or the Middle East? The East of where? When you look at the world map and Great Britain is in the middle, that's because Great Britain invented the world map.
Okay.
The middle of the world could be anywhere. If you buy a Japanese map, Japan is in the middle. So this idea of East and West, Europe, where do you the guy, Andy, who comes to Speaker's Corner, who's Algerian, he always bangs on about the fact that Algeria's rich history was actually historically part of the West and not part of the East. I mean, we're part of the Mediterranean. And even people in Syria, Han claims that Greater Syria includes part of Turkey, all of Turkey, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and even Cyprus. And they call it the Fertile Crescent. So in that northern part of the Middle East, which is Greater Syria or Bilad al-Sham, this is known as the Fertile Crescent or the Levant. And the symbol for the crescent and the star, like the symbol for Islam, but it's referring to the Fertile Crescent, and the star on that crescent is Cyprus.
What's the point?
So I'm saying you could say this part is the East, this part is the West, but pan-Syrian nationalism span both East and West because they include Cyprus as part of them.
Yeah.
There are people in Cyprus, although they speak Greek, would say, look, really, we are from the Levant.
Yeah.
In a sense, we are Middle Eastern, or what you would perceive as Middle Eastern. What are the comments saying? Someone said, hi, Julia.
It's called a sham in Arabic.
A sham.
It's called a sham.
Levant, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine. And I think I'm right in saying it comes from Shamal, meaning the north, and some people use it to mean left, but I could be wrong. And also, Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, Amharic, I think that comes from a similar root, possibly, but I could be wrong.
Peace be upon Asham.
Peace be upon Hashem. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I hope so. But people always try to put some kind of religious perspective on it, and you know what's going to happen at the end of the world. But let's let God decide that, man. Let's just try and have peace.
What do you think about you being targeted for a lot of injustice in this world, personally?
My white face would make me a target for people angry with what
I
some
mean,
white
people don't understand.
did.
Sorry to cut you.
Go on.
And they like, but it seems touched upon, and if a white person sometimes says something bad, they will be labelled as a race. Well, yeah, I just noticed that sometimes in life, like, there's racism everywhere, not just, but
You're right.
a lot of people think European, white, whatever.
Yeah, there is racism everywhere, man. But
I mean,
it can't come from any side.
I mean, you gotta look at Germany and the Nazis and
It's
stuff.
like,
They were white and they were white as well. It's different
so the
belief.
black people will look at everything that black people have been through in the past, and they still feel like
White people are responsible.
yeah, maybe not the white people today, but
Well,
the
some
thing is,
do.
you won't really, but the thing is, you won't really, like, for example, you've had someone look at you in a or talk to you in a way, and you're thinking he's being racist,
It's
right?
like terrorism, though, isn't it?
But
It's one couple of people.
the right person, or the person who is being racist, or you know, who might be saying, no, why are you calling out racism when it's not? You don't really know that. You know, you're not in my shoes right now. You're not experiencing what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you ever been called anything racist?
Me?
As a white person?
Oh, yeah.
I won't have suffered as much racism as a black person or an Asian person. growing in this country.
Yeah, it depends who you are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been quite fortunate. I mean, I've had little subtle racist things, but never like.
Last question. No, I thought there was a question
Okay,
Is it, do
about
you think?
Orientalism.
has become one of the landmarks of sociology and Middle Eastern politics since its publication in 1978.
Oh, the book. I mean, the book is a very famous publication, and yeah, I guess the answer is yes. But I haven't read it.
Pauline. Is that Pauline?
Yeah, I
Pauline.
sent it to her. Is she
Yeah,
watching?
Mop, she said mop. Question mark.
What did she say? Mug.
Mop. M-O-P.
O-P.
What do you mean, Pauline?
Pauline?
Pick up Pauline.
Clarification.
She's from Ireland as well.
Okay, nice.
West.
Very good.
Colin
Galloway.
said pitch black. Alright, Lord.
Is it a metaphor?
Is it a metaphor for racism?
Well,
I'll put the thing on, innit? Put the light on, what people can see
we
it.
on the light on. Is that against the law?
They want to see it. I guess it is.
Or is it? Are we breaking
If
the
we're
law?
live, I guess it's not.
I don't want to go.
Just tell them we were lying.
I don't want to go to jail. We were live, officer.
Or put the light on the phones.
You know what? Let's put the back. Put the back. Put the light at the back.
They've seen us.
No, I know, but it makes it more interesting.
There's a light at the back.
It might make their day
You
looking
saw
at us. It might make their
There's a way to do only the back.
It might make their day looking at us.
I don't know. Well,
Do you think it makes
do
your
your
day?
side
You'll have
then.
to do it from the back.
Oh
Yeah, there's
man,
one at the back.
there's a light at the
Yeah,
back.
low light at the back.
Oh
do
wow,
it.
I never knew that cars had lights in the back.
Oh, Rizzo, we just lost the camera. Yeah, there you go. That's a little
Keep
bit of
forward,
something.
keep forward.
I know it's too bright.
Atmosphere. What about colorism in you guys community, the black community?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Is that a problem? Are light-skinned black women more beautiful than dark-skinned?
Oh, we get that problem a lot.
Yeah.
Within the Asian community.
Okay.
Do we?
I think the black community.
And where is that stem from? Is that because the white man went to Asia, or is that because the North is richer than the South?
I don't know. I'm not sure where it stems from, but I know that lighter skin are considered more, better looking and treated better
Yeah.
than darker skin.
And
Like even in
Oh,
you'll see
colours.
the soap operas, their little dramas and stuff that they play on the channels.
yeah.
It's whatever
you won't see any
sells, innit?
dark skin women,
Okay.
or even the men. Yeah, you wouldn't.
And
There was even one about a dude was basically getting bullied because of his dark skin.
wow. And you don't think that stems from the imperialism, or is that from predating
yeah.
the British Raj?
Well, you get like it's weird though, because did you ever see that H&M thing where the little kid, the black kid, and then they put a monkey T-shirt?
Yes, I remember that.
So the thing is, someone said to me, which is I believe as well, like it's like
Tallest monkey in the jungle.
yeah, but for someone to think the monkey's affiliated with black could be racist, like just for them to think that.
Vito Anderson said 3 virgins in a car.
Okay.
Yeah, Vito.
Well, we got another one in the boot. It's 4.
I'm thinking them say vegans.
Oh.
Said virgins.
Yeah, we are virgins and we're proud.
Vegans, that's right.
Yeah.
If you can hook us up with any women, we'd be very grateful. We wouldn't know what to do
These
with it.
guys were. I think I mean the Speaker's Corner virgins.
Ah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, but
As you
you're
were. No, I'm not, but you two are, and I think this
Yeah.
is
How? Cause you're.
with two
Okay.
first timers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shit. I guess we
Pauline
lost
said
it.
was trying to. Oh wait, there. Before that, Tadej said, "Is Americans Orientalism that of France and Britain because it is mainly political? Its relationship with Israel."
Okay. Well, the British Empire finished, and the American Empire took over,
Yeah.
and West used Israel, or the Israeli state, in the or Britain's plan for the Balfour Declaration. It was said they would create a loyal Ulster in the heart of the Middle East, as in having this country is going to be useful. For us.
Why?
Because you're pulling it.
Pulling
Give Zoe the mic, man.
Yeah,
Oh man, hey,
You can still lean in.
Yeah, you can still.
Hey, you think the Protestant and Catholic beef will ever end?
Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. But
Let's just finish
the,
this.
the throwaway comment is that, oh, America created Israel. Not true. Israel was
How do you know
created
that's not true?
because Israel, the promise to make the modern state of Israel happened in 1917,
Right.
long before America was a world player. They were reluctantly were involved
So who
in the
made that
First
happen?
World War. They didn't want to in the Second World War either. America were not this intervention that they were back then. They had a policy of America first, which Trump tried to reinvent, and a lot of people welcomed it because they thought at least he'll stop invading the Middle East. And the notion of Israel being a Western puppet state in the Middle East, loyal to Britain, you could make that point or not, but the fact is, it has gone from being an entity loyal to Britain to
right.
now Britain and America having to be loyal to Israel
Yeah.
and are involved in wars that would protect Israel's interest. That's how I see this situation unfolding. So it's kind of like the tables are turning, and certainly as Britain were eclipsed, America came to the fore and became the new superpower in the world. They are the only superpower in the world. But why would you get involved in wars in the Middle East that are not actually to your benefit? Unless it is all about oil and you're doing it for the oil. But
Yeah,
I
but
think
Julian,
it's more than that.
It is.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay, now you're probably right. Wait there, Pauline said why I was trying to view full screen, don't know how Mop came up. This Julian guy is bang on. He's so knowledgeable, such a cool dude.
Thank
got
you,
a fan,
thank you very much, Pauline. Very kind of you. Please
She's
subscribe.
She's from Galloway.
Okay, Galway in the west of Ireland. I was there a while ago.
No, not Galway.
Galloway or Galway?
Is that Galway and a Galloway?
It's Galloway in Scotland. There's Galway in the west
In
of
the
Ireland.
middle of nowhere, like a shithole, but a good shithole.
All right. Well,
She tell me.
You've been there, innit?
yeah. I have.
No, you've been there. He's been there as well.
There's a.
But yeah,
What's
the
the comment?
Protestant Catholic beef.
Yeah. Okay. So the.
Nothing on to that's wrong.
You want to talk about sectarianism in Ireland then, yeah? Shall we move on to Irish history? Okay. So, what's the question? When will it end?
Would it end and how did it get so deep?
So,
Deep like sand.
oh
deep
man,
in
how far back do you want to go?
Well, we don't have bore people.
We don't know. Long story short,
Yeah.
in the 1700s there was a group of Irishmen called the United Irishmen.
Oh,
They were mainly Protestants, mainly Presbyterians, because Protestant is not a monolith. There are different factions within Protestant. People are Church of Ireland, which is a form of Anglican, and you've got a few Methodists and others here and there. 300 years ago or so, Irish people, Catholics and Presbyterians, were deprived of equal rights. They were forced to pay a tax to the official church, which was the Church of Ireland. They were forbidden from voting and from owning property, etc. So the Presbyterians and the Catholics were in the same boat and were joining and there were Anglicans who also saw this as unjust and were calling upon the Irish to unite and push the English out of the country. Are you with me?
We're
We're there.
with you. Just
Okay.
don't worry about this guy.
Guy's too knowledgeable.
Around that time, so Love Island, right, is a good program.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
So the United fighting against the English, and then the English gave more rights to the Presbyterians and excluded only the Catholics. So the Catholics on their own now, and this sowed seeds of animosity between the two sects, and organisations like the Orange Order
Which
which
you grew up
celebrate.
under, right? Protestant.
Yeah, well, I've got a family that would have been of that mindset, but I've
Wow.
also got a family who, in fact, to be honest, I don't really, but we're from that community,
Oh, wow.
right?
So you're
But
racist.
there have always been people of the mindset, like myself, that say Ireland together, Ireland for the Irish, Catholic and Protestant, doesn't matter. The Irish flag, green, white and orange,
Yes.
is about Catholic and Protestant with
Okay.
peace in between them.
Okay.
The Orange men were about Protestant ascendancy in Ireland and making Protestants a privileged ruling class
Yeah.
in Ireland and Catholics being second-class citizens. And in the north of Ireland that was the case well in the 70s, where literally in reality Catholics didn't have the right to vote.
Do you think the IRA was good?
Do I think the IRA was good? Well, there are many IRAs. They've split off. I think the original Irish Republican movement was about uniting Catholic and Protestant together.
Oh, wow. Together.
I am very much in favour of that. What it's become and the transgressions that happened in the name of Irish Republicanism, I cannot.
Oh, she's from County Monaghan.
Okay, so she's from a border county, so just across the border into the Republic.
So carry on.
Clonus she might be in, but it's
Yeah.
where Barry McGuigan is from.
Yeah, Barry Wiggin.
Barry McGuigan.
Very Fennec.
So that's my take on the history of Irish nationalism.
Okay. Is
Next question.
Tadej said, is the image of Aladdin even accurate?
Is the image of Aladdin accurate?
What's the controversy behind that?
Arabian Nights, I believe, was actually a book by a Frenchman, or written by a Frenchman, about the Middle East, and it's very Orientalist.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the East
I got it.
being exotified and Princess Jasmine, the East through a Western lens. But in the story of Aladdin,
Yeah.
whoever wrote it, Aladdin is a Chinese man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's set in China. If you read the story children's books of Aladdin, he looks Chinese. So, but it was a story written about China, written by someone in the Middle East. I think.
You think?
From what I understand, it's set in China. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not an Arabic story. It's not an Arabic story that's been translated. It is, as he says, an Orientalist story, and they probably think that it's all the same. Or China, Arabia. What you tell me? It's all in the East. So there is no true.
Is Orientalism still the process in which Arab can be represented in Western cultures?
It's still the process.
Is Orientalism still the process in which Arabs can be represented in the Western culture?
I'm sure that the representation of Arabs, look, even the collective term Arabs. I mean, what do you mean? Are Tunisians Arabs? They speak a form of Arabic, but it's vastly different from what they speak in Arabia. By blood, they're majority Berber heritage. Are Syrians Arab? They speak Arabic, but our ancestors will have been the various different ethnic groups. So all these collective terms are just ways of describing the other.
How are Orientalism and
Anthropomorphism.
anthropology connected?
Okay, well, we always look at history through our own cultural lens, and if I did an excavation and I dug up some bones and I found a guy with a wodge of papers, I might say, oh look, that was their money, or that was their book, but maybe it was something completely different. Because we make books and paper, we make books and money out of paper. You would think, oh, a book or it's a piece of paper. Maybe they had a completely different use for paper. Maybe they had you can't apply our morals and our assumptions to history. And children are better at understanding things like that because they make fewer assumptions. When you performing magic tricks on people, as we did today, you're relying on them making assumptions.
That's right.
I hand you the deck, and if I treat it in a normal way, you will assume that it's a normal deck. But if I'm clutching it and I'm like saying, "Oh, I hope he doesn't shuffle this deck," you're going to grab it. Let me shuffle that.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're going to suspect something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And kids will often spot what a magician is doing. Adult will, because the adult has already decided what's going on in his head.
Okay.
The kid is just finding out,
Yeah.
and he's not made any assumptions.
Yeah.
The reason why magicians hold a wand in their hand is because that you can look at that hand and say, "Oh, he's got a wand in his hand," and you assume he doesn't have anything else.
Okay.
He's got the wand and something else
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, we need to make.
What the hell is
fewer
Saj doing in the back seat?
Has he nodded off?
Pauline said that.
I lost the clip, man.
Oh no.
For this shit, and there's so
He's
much
looking
shit
for a
in this
clip.
car, it's unbelievable.
Have you lost the clip of the mic?
No, and it's a clip of the chain.
Oh, so we'll find it, man. Don't worry, we'll find it.
Definitely. Thanks, man.
We'll wrap this up and find it.
But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah.
You weren't saying anything, bro. Start saying
You
something.
can start
What's your
now.
favourite cereal?
Lucky Charms?
What
Is that
kind of
Irish?
milk do you-
That tastes like water.
Does it? Does
That
it?
actually tastes like water, bro.
Well, like full cream then.
Yeah, full
Is
full
that
fat.
different? I can't taste the difference.
Is it?
Yeah, and I don't drink milk that much.
Direct from a cow.
No.
I've tried it when I
Well,
was in.
I have.
They told
You
me.
done it?
Yeah, when I was in Newtown.
No,
yeah.
like actually under the cow, like licking the sucking.
Did it not?
They told you it was a cow.
I did.
Yeah.
In adult years,
Yeah.
in school years. in adult years.
You actually.
Recently.
I got under the cow. I put my mouth on the.
Where was this? Where was this?
Wow.
The cow was loving it. So was I.
You were connecting with nature.
You ever?
I was gonna ask something there.
Yeah, sorry, Rizzo. You
No, like, then
mid-flow.
I've forgotten that.
ever made love to a sheep?
Well, it must be after 10 o'clock. We're going
Yeah, it's
next
after
week.
10. We're going all out now.
Yeah, we're going all right. Okay, right, it's the X hour. The most ridiculous politics is out the window. Hit us with your most
that
ridiculous question. How'd it go? How'd it go?
Let's start talking shit.
Yeah, we're live. All right, X hour question again.
The question is if you guys was in love with someone very much
Yeah.
Very much.
and it turned, well, they were transsexual all along, would you be mad? Would you just live with it? Would you just be like, look, why didn't you tell me? Would you work things out? How would you deal with it?
Same question
It's
to
a
number.
big thing as well,
Question to number one.
and it's most likely can happen. It's a very common scenario.
It can happen. It can happen to anyone. It's I don't know, Gotti. You sprung it on me, and I think I would say let's be friends.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd say.
Stop.
I'll
Sexual
use
stuff.
it to my advantage and pimp the thing out. The thing,
Well,
the thing.
only you would come out with something like that.
Because then that means there's two identities. And then it's double the money.
Do you know what we should do? And it might be for another night. Is play blind date.
My day.
Blind date, yeah. Three of us.
And
Yeah.
you play blind
So we phone a random number
Oh,
from
wow.
from the phone book,
Right.
Oh,
and we set it up, and we don't say who it is, and we say I've got three handsome guys for you. You've got three
They're
questions.
just gonna cut us off though.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Okay.
Phone someone you know.
Okay.
I mean, well, a female, ideally. And just say, look, I can't say who it is.
Yeah.
I've got three guys here,
And they ask.
and then ask the question, decided which one you want to take on a date. It will be like going back to the
That would be
90s.
fun. Have you ever done that?
I haven't done it on here, but I've done it. Yeah.
By yourself.
By my. Oh yeah, I rang you. It was the 20 pound for charity.
Oh yeah.
You picked up, and that was for that was for Christmas. I was thinking I was bringing all the wise men that I knew,
Yes, yes.
and I rang you.
I was one of the ones.
You were one of the wisest. I know.
How I
I got right down to the end of the phone book. I was like, right. There he is. It's not this one, it's next one, right? Am I right?
Yeah. I've got a lot of love for you, Julian.
Hey, no.
Like you've always shown me love and respect and like genuine, love, sort of where you genuinely want to spend time with me.
Sure.
I was telling him about it as well, innit?
Yeah. Sometimes it takes time for things to come together.
Yeah, just how this guy has always reached out, and I've always been just like, not for any personal reason, just because I've been in my own sort of little bubble for so long.
That's all good. Everything comes at the right, time.
Yeah.
When you got, like I said to you years ago, we were on the radio. I really, really liked what you were doing.
I know, and I really, really wanted you on our show, but you just weren't allowed, were you? Because of people.
Because of politics, it was different. But now, and this is the thing. When you're on the verge of doing it, you're like, oh, I wish I could do it, Now I can do a show anytime I want. Yeah. I'm like, oh, should I do it, shall I not?
Yeah,
so I just said, I'm going to do it. By the way, guys, if you're wondering why the hell I've sent this to you tonight, I said, that's it. On Sunday night, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to do the live show. Yeah. And I'm just going to have a stab at it. And that's why you got this live stream. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's been in a car. It won't always be like this, but...
we're going to switch it up every time, and
exactly.
Julian's going to switch it up every time. It might be with us,
yeah,
it might be with someone else.
There'll be, it doesn't. As long as the audio is good and we got the mic plugged in, then we're fine. So yeah, it's about doing what you can. And there's an artist, I always forget who it is, who says the best camera to have is the camera you have. As in, just take the picture. You're there now. It's in front of you, and the moment's going to go.
Yeah.
You can't say, "Oh, wait till we get the super duper camera. Okay. Wait till I buy the wire and the producer and the laptop and this and that." You have to grasp the moment.
That's right. Yeah.
Or it's gone.
Yeah.
And also
You've got to start somewhere.
The 80. Have you heard of the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
Go on, guys.
You get 80.
20% of your clothes, 80% of the time. Yeah? There'll be about 20% of your clothing, not much, you wear that most of the time. Yeah, you could chuck out the rest of your clothes, that other 80%, and you'd be fine.
So like when you go to the toilet, you get 20%, come out with 80%.
Something like that. But the point is, you don't have to give it everything in order to get a good result.
Okay.
You know?
So
you can go to the gym 3 times a week and get quite a good physique.
Yeah.
You get an 80% good physique.
Yeah.
If you want to be a super duper trained athlete, you might go 7 days a week, but you're only going to gain another 20%.
Yeah.
So unless you need top echelons of efficiency, you can do well giving 20% effort consistently.
Yeah.
The rest is you're killing yourself to not get much more. You know?
That's right. Did I adding some more questions?
Go on then.
How or why is Saeed's concept helpful and relevant in terms of studying transnationalism and transnational cinema?
Oh, are you writing your essay? Are we doing someone's homework for them?
No,
and if you can give me citations, that'd be great. God, I think
Jordan M said hi.
It's the exam. Hello, Jordan M. Jordan M. Have a great time on holiday. I've heard he's going on holiday, or he might even be on holiday. He said he was going to Hungary. Have you? I think. Have you guys been there?
Nah, never.
No, we're already full up.
God. Green and then hope well. Where is it? Oh, there.
Yeah, it's just
the spot. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to. He's there now. Oh, great, Jordan. I hope you're having a good time. Stay tuned. And just kind of missed you today. There we go. Hope there's nothing giving away where you guys live. No landmarks. Are you guys jumping in the same spot, or do you want?
Yeah, we're both
All right, boys, wrap it up for me then. Oops. Yeah, you look for your.
Okay, well, today was a great day. Great day.
Yeah, it was a good one, man.
It's good fun. It was a good experience. I've never been to Speaker's Corner. I always wondered what it's like to, actually be there. I watched it online.
You were a great help,
man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, bro. I can try and come as much as possible, but you know, it won't be every week. But
Whatever.
hopefully, you know, I
whenever.
might just come next week. Are you going to be there?
Should
next
be,
week?
yeah, I should
I'm
be.
gonna come every day.
Look, yeah.
He's gonna be there every day. No one be there. He's gonna be there.
I'll just
Yeah. All right, stay tuned for more of Rizzo. Yeah, oh yeah, and Gotti, who's in the back, bending down in the back, looking for his
Soul.
looking for
Say
something.
that it's the best day of my life right now.
This has been Gotti's birthday.
Better than getting married. Not that I know what that feels like. And I just want to say to anyone that wants to come and join us, don't come and join us because we're a 3-man gang and we don't need you.
All right.
That's it. Tripod.
Okay, this has been Lessons for Life. We'll do it all again soon.
We're doing a lessons for love as well. We're going to teach people about hormones.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification button.
Thank you, Pauline McCarville. Great to have you with us. Right, we'll do it all again soon.
Is this your backpack or his?
Different time, different
Is
place.
this your backpack?
That's
he put his in the boot.
that's my backpack. We'll do it all again soon. We were here. We're gone. Latest.